truly only about a year, right? I've been out on medical leave for a couple of months. I had an unfortunate accident, so I'm still rusty, but happy to help you with anything I can. And oh, hi, Priest, how you doing? Um, you guys are doing a phenomenal job with our students, and I know it could be frustrating, especially when we only take a certain amount. One of the biggest takeaways so far for me was like, wow, all these students do these preclinical courses and all this work, and they don't all get in. That was like a little mind blowing for me. But I'm here to tell you that, we're doing our best to increase our resources so we can take more students. And so let me tell you a couple of updates. So right now we've partnered with quite a few facilities. We have, I'm sure you're aware of the LPN advanced placement, which was kind of dormant for a while. So these are LPNs that can come and we give them credit for the first semester. And they go directly into 102 once they take an NLN exam that they pass successfully. I think we're looking for a 75. And then they do a on-campus clinical skills assessment, which I do for them. So with that said, 1199, we partnered with 1199, and they've been trying to send their LPN, paying for their education, to RN LPN. Some of them, quite a bit, are not meeting the criteria, the eligibility, unfortunately. So that's what's up with that 1199 as far as the 11 LPN advanced placement. We did pilot last, in spring of 24, the surgical tech bridge program, to surgical tech to RN. And unfortunately, that was not successful. We have, out of the 8 that applied, that have started the program and were eligible, only 3 are now into 202. And we found that after I did a lot of data and I met with them frequently, we found that it was too big of a jump for them. We feel that they might be better with a surgical tech to LPN kind of program for them. So we're working on that. LPN program is on the back burner. It is on my wish list to create. And I think it'll answer a lot of our problems before the applicants that are looking for health professions. So from there, we could do medical assistant bridge to LPN and LPN to RN. So that is something I think is very feasible. So another partner we joined with, which you might, is the Northwell Nance, and HANCE. And I'll send this all to you. I didn't come prepared to share any documents, but they are paying for the nursing. Again, we have this nursing shortage we're trying to address, right? And so all these facilities are coming out with these, great funding. They're paying for their employees. Most of them are non-direct patient care employees, but somehow in the health profession. In some way, not somehow, in some way in health profession. So they're paying for their education. We were chosen as one of the colleges to send them to. That's a Northwell partnership at HANCE. And they're just starting in 101 and then paying for education, paying for their resources. So that's really neat. Last semester we had 3. Only 2 passed. And then we're expecting more. So we've asked them to self-identify to you guys when you do go for advisement so that you're aware of who they are. Not that it's going to give them any special privileges, but just be aware of that. And then now we're just heard from New York City Health and Hospitals, where they're doing the same thing as Northwell, where they're taking their non-direct patient healthcare professionals and paying for their nursing education. So you'll see that coming as well on your end. As far as the requirements, they're still the same. What I have shared with Gail, and I think Michelle, and this is again new for me, with the student, do you want to ask questions first for me? Okay, you want to do questions first, William? Okay, that's fine. So let me just proceed. So, okay, so the students do the preclinical and, they meet all the requirements, and we have this little checklist which, we shared with you as far as what they need to do before they get into the nursing, to apply to the nursing program. But what they found prior to my taking over as chair, that microbiology wasn't really working to be taken as a co-requisite in the program. So They're really looking, it's impossible. We have, as you know, a very, very full curriculum, almost like a boot camp. And although the students, do succeed, there's quite a few that kind of get left, don't make it through. One of the key factors we found in helping them is to take that micro ahead of time. And so when they're doing the admission, we have an admissions committee. And when they look at all the applications, they prioritize by GPA. They're also, and it is not on the website because by the state, I guess our state format is a little different and a different pathway. So we do encourage them to take micro ahead of time. We're not mandating it, but that gives them a better leg into getting into the program if they've successfully taken the micro and they've gotten, B- or better. Yeah, good. Of course, anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, same thing. And that's how they get looked at. They'll do the GPA. Yes. That's fine. But they need to let us know that, because then we'll wait. We'll look at, we look at everything else. And then if they, pass the micro, then they get put back into the mix before a decision is made. Well, we kind of, if they look good with everything else, then pending micro goes on the little grid, pending micro score, and they don't lose their plays. As long as everything else between the, so we're doing the next now, not the packs anymore, right? They're doing remote, okay, 1 second. We're doing remote proctoring. Antonio is thinking about piloting a few students to take it on campus at humanities. So that's to come. It's not set up yet. I'm a little nervous that might open a whole can of worms for students wanting to come on campus, but so far they're doing remote proctoring. They're welcome to take it here, but they pay for the proctoring of the next. Okay, did you want to ask me something? No. No, and we found that, and I know, because I've been here like, I think almost 11 years now, and when I taught 101 for a while, and when students tried that, it was like really too difficult. I always thought, okay, maybe they could take it in the summer after 101, but it seems to be better, Yeah, then they have to reapply from what I understand. They have to reapply to the program if they don't pass the micro. No, that's a great question. To my knowledge, we don't do that, but it would be nice to let them know that we're pending. Would you like that? Okay, I think that's a great idea. I mean, I'm fine with that if we can notify them. So I get them on the back end. They go through the admissions committee and we have a fantastic team that works on looking at the grid and putting everything in order. And then at the end, I kind of look everything over. But I think it's a good suggestion. I think it's fair so they know what's going on. It might even motivate students to look better in micro because, so let's put that, notify them pending. And I think Nicole might be doing that, but I'll confirm that. And I'll let William know.
We have a couple of
Yes,
and some of them might be redundant with the rest, but
sure.
so, first question. Why do people
Yes. I just, ethically, it's like, oh, they're having them do all this, and what if they don't get in? That's the part I can't wrap around my head around. So, but yes, it's better for them to get that all in order. But mostly the micro, I think, is the key 1, and of course, A&P 1 and 2. I think, what else is there besides that? That's really the main guys, right? The GPA is big. The GPA is really big. They need the
Yeah.
3.0.
Student apply for the can student apply for the nursing program without the response to the plan? I don't know if you apply.
They can apply, but they're not going to be on the hierarchy of the list. If it puts them at, we want them to succeed. And when I say hierarchy, it's just that, okay, well, these other students did this. They won't have those factors that will impede them from succeeding. And that's what the data has shown in the past for our program.
Student completed has 211. Do they still need to take the student evaluation?
That's funny. So this is hot off the press. I was just speaking to Dr. Pullen, actually, is going through the catalog, and I'm really interested. I don't know what you guys are finding, but I am really interested in starting that SB 007. Sounds like an agent, but SB 007, that's the speech remediation piece. We're finding students that are coming to us that are still a little bit, they take during their interview, they're kind of ask questions to see how their, English language is. And then they come and they get admitted and they start the program, but they're still struggling with the verbiage, on the exams and things like that. So that speech remediation is something I'd like to bring back as far as helping the students. And that was something we did back in the day, I remember, where the students went for this SP 007 at the same time that they were in the course, and it really helped them succeed. So it is on the table to be discussed, but right now they are, if they took SB 211, they don't have to worry about a speech evaluation. If they didn't, they're evaluated by speech. Yes. So, okay, that's a great, yeah, no, I thought that everyone was being evaluated, and then Julian wrote back from theater, he's the chair there, that no, only if they took SB 211, they're not, so I will update that. Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Wait, let me just write this down. Again, it goes by who does better, but B minus would be preferred, but I've had some students get in with C, so say everything else, like they did great on the next, and then their GPA was really good. So it's not like a percentage calculation, but we look at the whole picture, and that would be helpful, but we do take Cs. I had some Cs. Correct. C is the minimum for our course, that they don't fail, that's why. They're in person. So they have a rubric, which they use. They look at eye contact, they look at, how engaged the student is. I'm not sure about what happens from there as far as, are they told right away? I think we do inform them that maybe they didn't, otherwise they're called back for a second. They're given 2 tries. Right, they're given 2 tries. And it is in person. What I would like, if you wouldn't mind, sharing with them how important it is to dress professionally. I'm sure you guys do, but some of them are just coming in and that, like, you walk in the door and that we stress the professionalism. So just a piece of takeaway, make sure they dress, not like in a suit or all, but at least, not in sweats and things like that. Seven? Oh, no, listen. Every time I go into that website, I get more confused. It is on my wish list to fix it, and life just keeps getting in the way. So wait, No, I think that's great. Right. You got it. No, I will, I appreciate. I know, I've sat in, and I've helped out a little bit. And I'm like, just relax, just take it easy, take some deep breaths, but yeah, I get it. But yes, thank you. This is all really helpful for me. So I have those three things. I don't want to go over Raul's time too. Is that the right time? Who was first? I'm not paying attention. I don't see a problem with it. It's either or Math 119. Right? Well, we're looking for, I'm going by the checklist for my own memory. We're taking M19 or M336, so it wouldn't hurt her. I hate to have her take an extra course. Would the C work? But we really are finding students that are not good in math, are not safe. I mean, we really need that math score. Did I answer your question? Good. Always do that, you know. Because that's my interpretation, and I'd like to conclude that my understanding is they take the first grade together on the. No, so that's a great question. So the grade stays there. It shows that they took it again. So, you know, so say they got the C and then they got the B minus or the B. That's fine to retake it and keep it there. That's what I've seen on the applications in the grid. We'll see all the different grades that they have. That's, yeah, again, it's a whole package, right? So it's hard. It is hard. I wish I could take 500 students. I really do. I just, yes. No, I mean, if they want to take it again, they should, and that it'll still, it'll show that they, and it's supposed to substitute. They can substitute a grade too, so. I see what you're saying. Okay. That, again, I don't get involved in how they're choosing them, the students with what the criteria, so I will look at that. I'm sorry, Raul, I'll be out in a second.
Okay, I think, any other questions?
Yeah, please email me. Hmm, okay. So I would say for me, I like a strong math and the strong micro. So one of those two would probably be the one that I would ask them to, yeah, whatever's stronger, but it's in the science or the math. Because that we're finding is really, once they start calculating, let me and let Jason in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Once they start, I will, 1 second. Once they start, you know, doing the med calculations and things like that, and that is important. I wish I could give you like a cookie cut answer, and I'm sorry for being hesitant, but let me investigate further. Your feedback is helpful. Yes, sir, did you want to say something? It is. And so doesn't someone have to make a decision to approve that transfer of that course?
What are you doing?
I'm just gonna go ahead and say, and I'll talk to our team, that whatever would be the greater grade is fine with us. That's what we would go with, and that's what I'll instruct them to do the same. I hope I was helpful. I'm sorry if I was still in the gray area. I feel like I have brain fog.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
One more question, then we have to move on, please.
Yeah, what you think I'm hard to do. Yeah, like I said before, they can take it again, but then both grades will show up apparently on the grid. But they can take it again, but and the reason they do that, I think, to look is to say, okay, well, this student got the B plus right away and didn't have to take it again. So there's a whole ins and outs that they follow. You can't repeat or fail, right? Any part of pre. Well, you got on the bottom of the check, right? They can substitute one, right? I'm just saying the math, right? So for the math, if they want to choose one of those, whatever one is higher, I'm fine with that. That's not failing, of course. They couldn't then. I don't see why not. All I'm seeing is M 302, 301, English 102, 101, and psych. They're allowed for one free clinical. So for the math, they wouldn't. I get it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't know why we have that rule, honestly. They're teaching me more than I know.
I know.
All right.
Okay, so let's move on. Thank you, Dr. Rex.
I'll speak to Gail and
Yeah.
Michelle about it and all
Do
that.
some
Thank you.
follow-ups. We're running way over, guys.
I know.
All right, so Professor
I should've gone
Armendariz.
late.
Okay, thank you. Come on over.
This way would be
Hello, everybody. My name is Raul Armendariz. I'm the chairman of the physics department. We don't have too much to talk about here as far as we're concerned, but of course, I'll answer any questions you have. So as you can see from this, can you guys hear me okay? Okay, so as far as dealing with the advisors, ever since I started working here, which was 15 years ago, I would say one of the biggest problems that we've had with advising is the students that are in that engineering technology program. ET, MT, CT, these students, we run about, 5 sections every semester of Physics 201, which is physics for the ET majors. And we run 2 or 3 sections every semester, fall and spring, of Physics 202, which is the second physics for the ET major. So that's like 7 or 8 sections every fall and every spring. Plus in the summer, we run one of each, and in the winter, we run a 201. So that's like, 15, 18 sections per year, 19 sections. And they usually fill. So we're talking about, 300, 400 students maybe per year that take this. Yeah, like 400 students per year that take these courses. And since I've been here, pretty much every semester, we get a handful of students that are angry, and they come to us after the fact and they say that they wanted to be an engineer. That's what that's what they say. And, but they're in the wrong major. They're in technology. And so they're taking the engineering technology courses. They're not taking engineering courses. So this has been a consistent, issue, problem. And a lot of times some professors get upset, and, because the students will say, oh, I took this course or these 2 courses. I even took it twice and I'm not even in the right major, right? And so when I became chair 3 years ago, I brought this up at this meeting. And I found out by talking with a lot of the advisors, 2 in particular were very, talkative in that meeting. And by hearing them, I realized that they didn't actually know the difference themselves between engineering and engineering technology. So that's one of the issues that's important, to know the difference. Another issue that, another factor in the cause of this problem is the students themselves. What happens is a lot of these students, they want to be engineers. They say they want to be engineers, but their math is too weak. They can't take math 440. They can't take pre-calculus. They can't take calculus 1, math 441, because they have to take math 114 and or math 119 and 121 because of where they come in. So what happens is the students themselves, quite a few of them are a little, they don't understand the difference themselves between the engineering technology program and the engineering program. Now, not a lot of them. Like I said, we have, say, 400 students every year in this program that we see in physics. Now, this is not a physics program. This is an engineering technology program, but physics teaches them 2 courses. And a lot of these students, a lot meaning maybe 50%, have to repeat Physics 201. We did a study over 10 years to see how many students got a C or better in Physics 201, and it was about 45%. So, no, 55%. So 45% basically have to repeat 201, right? So that's a lot that are repeating it, and we're working on that. It's a separate problem, separate issue. But what I wanted to talk with you guys today is about how, basically a kind of a caution, when the students, if the students talk to you and they say they want to be engineers, then they should, in my opinion, they should be in the engineering science AS degree program. They should not be put in the engineering technology program unless they clearly understand that, look, you're going to be a technician. You're not going to be an engineer. All right. Now, because to be an engineer, you have to have an engineering degree, right? Or now there's some New York State rules. So this is where it gets into a big gray area. If you don't have an engineering degree, if you have an engineering technology degree or an associate's degree, and you have, I think it's 7 years of related work experience in engineering, then you can take an engineering state test and become a certified engineer. So there's a gray area there, but that's few and far between. Usually when people, I was an engineer. So when people say they want to be an engineer, that means they want to get an engineering degree and they want to be an engineer. They don't want to be a technician. All right. The difference is like a doctor and a nurse. If someone says they want to go to be a doctor, we wouldn't put them in the nursing program, right? So if they want to be an engineer, they should go into the, in my opinion, in the engineering program. If they're in the engineering tech program, that's fine, as long as they know that, look, this is a 2-year terminal degree. It's not a bachelor's, it's an associate's, it's an applied, associate's in applied science. And, so you're looking at, the salary difference. In engineering, probably starting somewhere around 80,000 or something, or a technician is probably starting somewhere like 50,000, somewhere like that. And then there's another gray area is there's other types of engineers, like, with the MTA, and building engineers, you could become a building engineer, like in a school or something. So when a student says they want to become an engineer, if they're in the technology program, then as long as they understand the difference. And so, like I said, we in the physics department have figured out that there's like 3 different, three different factors that are contributing to this misinformation with the student. The first is the students themselves. That the ones that end up having this problem, not all of them, but most of them, we find that their math was weak. So they were advised, or they thought, okay, I'll take math 114, I'll be an ET major, then I'll take physics 201, which is algebra-based physics, and then I'll see how I'm doing, and then I'll shift over to the engineering science by changing majors. But then the problem with that is those classes don't transfer. They have to start over again. They have to take now all the calculus, math 440, 441, 442, and then they have to take physics 421 and physics 422. So the physics 201 and 202 don't count. Okay. So as long as they understand, from the beginning, then that would be helpful to them. Like I said, we have about 400 students every year. I'd say all these years I've been here, it used to be like maybe 5 to 10 students every year. We would, we would deal with that found themselves in this situation where they took the wrong classes. Now, in talking to them, we find that more than half of them ended up in the ET program because their math was too weak to take calculus. And it was kind of like on them, but it doesn't help when they go to the advisors. And if the advisor isn't a tech person, they may not know the difference themselves. And then when they go to the ET department, sometimes they might be told, well, yeah, you can get an ET degree and still become an engineer, which is true, but then they have to check the New York State rules on that. And if they're going to get the 7+ years of experience after their associate's degree. And then, so this is an issue. And so there were 3 factors. It was the students themselves, the advising from the advisors, and then what the faculty are telling them in the physics department and the ET department. Are we advising them properly ourselves? But so we've now reduced this problem by creating a table, which is on our website, that link there at the bottom. We point the students to that link, and it's a table which says, the difference between engineering and engineering technology in terms of what you can expect in terms of employment later. Okay, so now it seems like maybe 3, 4, 5 students a year have this problem where they come after the fact and they're upset. And then we, tell them what the situation is. So that, I think, is the biggest thing that we deal with. And the other thing was the top line here, the astronomy. A lot of students take astronomy, which you advisors probably know. We run about 18 sections every semester, and maybe 2 over the summer, 2 in the winter. So like 40 sections a year of astronomy 111, and it's associated lab 112. A lot of non-science majors take that. And the issue with that, which has been happening more and more lately, is the students, their co-requisites, and that was a decision by the physics department a long time ago. So we require the students to take both together. But a lot of students get into trouble in one and not the other. And so they want to drop one and keep the other. And the first semester I was chair, I thought, oh, okay, why not? Be a nice guy and let them, But then I find that, oh, this student told everyone in their class, and now we're running 20 sections. So literally, I got like 40 students that semester asking if they could drop one and not the other. And so I talked to the previous chair, Professor Lieberman, and he said, look, don't do that because they're co-requisites, you know, they should go together. The lecture is supposed to help the lab's supposed to support the lecture. And, but it's another gray area because do the students really need the lab? Right? So we got to think about that. Like the physics department makes them co-recs, but in terms of their graduation requirements and what they're using it for, answers that question as to whether or not they need the lab, right? If they take the lecture and the lab together, then it can satisfy one of their lab science requirements for graduation. But if they're not intending to use astronomy as the lab science requirement, then they don't need the lab for that purpose because they're going to satisfy the lab science requirement with another course. So, you know, whether or not they need it or not in terms of their graduation requirements is based on their major and what other courses they've already taken. But they are co-recs. So we typically tell the advisors, because I get literally 10 emails a semester from advisors, from you guys, asking if, you know, so-and-so student can stay. Because what happens is the registrar's office, when they try to drop the lecture, say, and keep the lab, the registrar emails me right away and says, you know, or will you allow this? Because, you know, it's a flag in their system. And so I say no, only because I know that the department requires them as co-recs. And then if we let one or two, next thing you know, we have so many that want to do this. Listen, oh, and then the following semester, when we create our schedule, now we have an unbalanced number of how many sections of lecture we have to run with lab. And then we don't have enough, and then we end up over-tallying all these students in the one that we didn't have enough. So it does cause hiccups. Yes, sir. Right. Okay. Yeah, no, I know. So right. So, you know, it sounds like you're implying that it would be good if the physics department could not make them correct. Yeah, one grade. Yeah, no, I know. Um, well, so that changed when Pathways came along, right? Pathways forced that change. That was a big deal at that time. The other problem with that is that when the student, even though when they were combined, when they would pass one and not the other, we would allow them to just repeat the one they failed and then off the books, and then we would give them a passing grade by carrying it over and. Yeah. Uh-huh. Right. Okay. All right, I'm gonna bring it up to the physics department to take a vote on this, because I think we do need to have, I agree with you, we do need to have some flexibility in there. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I'll contact them. Right, exactly. All right, I'll get admissions.
Website here, though, is gonna be really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah,
Come a long way.
yeah, no, we've had come a long way.
Yeah.
The problem is nowhere near like it used to be. Yes, sir.
Um.
Yeah. Okay. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Okay. Yeah, it seems like we're missing them. Yes, sir. Mhm. Right. Yeah, but then, I agree with you. I agree. I was an engineer before I was a physicist, and, so I do know the difference. I worked at technician first. Yeah, but it's territorial too. Like the engineering science program is a joint program with ET, with physics, and with math and with chemistry, right? And so where that's housed, we had proposed to the ET department, we had proposed to, Dean Pullen and everybody that why don't we bring the engineering science to have some of its advising in the physics department. So that way the tech students go to ET and the engineering science students hang out in the physics department for their advising. Because the classes they're taking are primarily math and physics. They're taking a couple ET courses, some of which don't transfer. But because it's territorial, it's not so easy to split that. I agree.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys, and look at this. I'll send this PowerPoint out to everyone and take a look at this website because it is helpful to that distinction, okay, with the technician. Because that was kind of eye-opening to me. I was like, oh, wait a minute, technician and then actual engineering. So yeah, it's a good resource to have. Okay, next we have Professor Geismar from dance. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Aviva Geismar. I teach in the dance program. So the most important thing that you need to know for a dance major is to send them to me or my colleague, Emily Berry, right? You actually do not have to register them for anything. Send them to us. We'll register them for everything, okay? Sometimes if you send someone to us and we're having some issues, like we can't tell if they need the ALP math or English, or we're having a hard time getting them in like matching labs and lectures, we'll come back to you for assistance with that. But by and large, we're registering them for everything. The reason is there's a very specific course sequence for dance, and there's also placement. So not everyone coming in is going to be placed in all the same classes because we have 2 different levels for certain classes. So we have to make that assessment about the placement, and we have to, we know the sequence. Okay, we're only offering, for example, Dance 111 for dance majors in the fall. We don't offer that in the spring, etc. So it's made life much smoother for the students and for all of us if you just send them to me or my colleague, Emily Berry. So send them to Aviva Geismar or Emily Berry or both of us. And the other thing is, like all programs, well, not all programs actually. So the college is open admissions, not all programs are open admissions. However, the dance program is open admissions. So there's no audition. And if you don't, so we do an assessment about what level of certain classes they should be in. It's not an audition. So because sometimes students have a lot of fear of that word, wouldn't you? So if you say, oh, we're gonna send you over to the dance faculty and they're gonna do an audition to see what level you can be in, then the person, now they're majoring in liberal arts, right? So send them to us, tell them we're going to make an assessment. The assessment can take different forms. For some students, they share with us a video of themselves dancing from high school or dance studio. For some students, they come in and they do an in-person placement class, but that is a very simple movement class that they do with other incoming students. They have fun. It's not an audition. Like, students get so scared about this placement class. So please, if you could help us diffuse the anxiety about the placement class, tell them we're going to make an assessment. And literally, sometimes it's done, oh, they come from this specific program. We know that program well. That actually helps us make a decision about where they should go, knowing a bit about the background. The other thing I would ask you in terms of like helping to diffuse any confusion is we welcome and support students interested in any form of dance, right? So we've had experiences where students were told, no, they don't do hip hop in their program, which is not true. We have guest artists doing hip hop. Our students are performing a hip hop piece this semester. When they do their own choreography, they can do any form. So we welcome a diversity of dance forms. It is true they have to do ballet and modern dance and African dance and choreography and improvisation, but we are super excited, and we have worked with, over the years, people in many, many forms, and we bring in guests who teach and choreograph many, many forms. So don't tell them what we do. If they have questions about what we do, we're totally delighted to talk to them. Okay, so send them to Aviva Geismar and Emily Berry. Don't tell them they're going to have an audition. They're not. Don't tell them what we do. If they want more information about what we do, send them to us. Okay, and we're very appreciative if we're having trouble figuring out how to get them in the right ALP sections or the right labs to ask for your assistance. Yeah. Yeah, we sometimes have people coming in on that Thursday before, yep. And at that point, we can kind of, yeah, we can still place them. Like, we'll say, oh, we'll assume you'll be in this level, try them in there one day, and then we can move them to the other level. It's still time, there's still time to move people. So it's okay if they come in, but like, I know you all know this, like, stress to them, you're late, it's late, talk to them immediately, right? Because sometimes people just drag their feet and they miss that cutoff, as you all know better than me. Yeah. Yeah.
Typically, if they're in our office, and let's say she's with other students, or she can't get the student right away, typically what we try to do is going out.
We can do that. Yeah, we can do that, but best case scenario, send them to us. And like, you could, if they're sitting in your office, you could say, like, walk over to because one of us, Monday through Thursday, one of us is in the building, right? So they like walk them over to RFK Hall, walk them to the dance studio. Like they could just jump in that moment. We could see them move enough to make a assessment. Any other questions? Okay, thanks so much.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Parisa Salsi. I teach in the Department of Health Physical Education, mostly public health courses. So can I have yeah. So first, any questions regarding our program, AS in Public Health? So we are partnering with the Department of Biology, so it's a little bit unique. Both departments offers different courses. Our department, Health and Physical Education, these are required courses we offer to the Department of Health and Physical Education. The first one is HE 114, is required for public health majors as well as nutrition majors, not major nutrition concentrations, but this is a writing intensive course we offer in fall and spring. It is mostly public health courses. I think also is elective for other majors. When they come to our class and we ask what do you want to learn in this course, they say, I want to learn what should I eat, how should I do exercise. It is a health course, but it's mostly focusing on the public health. So I'm going in the next slides to show the topics we cover in this course. The next one we are offering through our department is we started to offer as a course since last spring. It is a social and behavioral determinants of health. Again, it's a public health course. We focus on social determinants of health, social factors affecting population and individuals' health, and also health behaviors. This one is required for public health students, and mostly our students are in public health major, and we offer only in spring. The next course is the Health of the Nations. Most of our students coming from health science, they are health science students and public health majors. Again, we focus on public health rather than individual health in this course. So our focus is population health. One of the other courses is required for public health majors, the Fundamental of Human Nutrition. This course focusing on the individual health, with discussing more about nutrition. This is one of the most popular courses in our department. I think we offer 40 sections each year, and it's mostly focusing on individual health, so students can learn what they should eat, how they should manage their nutrition. These are list of the elective courses. Public health nutrition is one of the new courses, and the confusion is there are two internship courses for public health. One is through our department, and the other one is a field into public health internship is through the Department of Biology. In this course, internship course, the prerequisite is one of the nutrition courses or public health courses. And mostly we want to match with some organization such as the health department, Department of Health, or some other organization. And we highly recommend for our students to take this course because it's going to help them to find a job, put in their resume, and basically they learn how to apply their knowledge to the real world. And that is one of the courses we just recently offering to our students. And these are other elective courses, mostly focusing on the individual health, not on the public health we offer through our department. If you want to focus on public health courses, HE 114 is one of the introductory courses for public health majors. And I see some other students from Department of Business, Department of Communication comes, but sometimes they don't know why they are in the class. This is a mostly, I mean, we have small size classes, last minutes when they don't find any courses, they want to come and they come with the idea, I want to know how to eat or how I can be healthy. But this course is a writing intensive, needs a little bit more strong writing skills, and we have for assessment, we have one final exam, attendance is required, and homework, analytical paper, and reflection paper. And I see some of the students struggling with the writing skills. So I recommend to have some basic writing skills before registering to this class. But again, it is we don't have any requirement. And we have high practice, high impact practice in this course is a writing intensive. We offer academic service learning, and also we are working with nursing department as a suite project. And these are topics for principle of practice of public health. And social determinants of health, we just recently last spring we started to offer as a course, and it is again, it's a hybrid. We offer as a hybrid. It means exam, homework, and class participation and projects. Again, they need to have some basic writing skill to be successful in this class. Any questions? Just, I think the confusion is through two different departments, and sometimes students coming for public health internship, they don't know which course they should go. And I notice sometimes students coming that I believe they need to take this course before epidemiology. Epidemiology offers through biology department, and this one is an introduction to public health. So the best practice is to take principle of and practice of public health before 503 general epidemiology and also public health biology. Any questions? Yes. So it is new. I'm trying to find some organization for public health internship. Every year, Department of Health, New York State Department of Health, and New York City Department of Health offers some internship, paid internship opportunities for students. It is competitive because they compete with 4 years colleges. Now we are trying, I mean, to negotiate with them and find if there's any way to have some seats for 2 years colleges. So that's, we invite every year them to come to talk to ours. But nonprofit organization and hospitals are also other places for internship. We recommend to go to their to find their own internship. Also, we encourage them to go to their career center to learn how to write their resume. But we are in process of a new course, and we just developed last year. And I think, I mean, we need to have more systematic way to partner with the outside partners to support their internship. Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Starting to catch up. Okay, Dr. Osorio, how are you?
Right, that's okay here.
You have any?
Oh, yes, you did send me, the links. I have that.
They've asked me to do this like 3 times already today. Anyone annoyed with this authentication code? I've done it like 3 times. I've done it like 3 times today. It's like, thank God. For now. Send me a sec. You can just click.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jose Osorio from the Modern Languages and Cultures. That is the new name for the Foreign Language Department. If you don't know yet, that changed. Mainly what I want to say is about the placement that we have in our department. The big issue that we have all the semester is every student that is planning to take classes with us, they need to figure out the placement. They can find the placement in our the webpage of our department right there. When they go to our department, they can see the link. It looks like this that you have here, and it's according with the language that they plan to study. They can do this and fill out the form. And it's an email there that they can send it to us. They can do it every time from everywhere. Can do it at home, 24 hours, anytime during the semester. We have a problem sometimes with the students that are registered for classes without filling out this form. The problem is especially with the students that already know the languages. They decide to take Spanish 111, but they came from their countries 2 weeks ago. Then it's an easy A for them. And it's a big problem for the instructor because the student disturbed the classes, they don't attend the classes. Sometimes they fail the classes and they never came. And at the end they say, no, but I speak Spanish. Give me an A. You never were active in the class. Then please, every student that visits you, any student that you are advising, they have to have a placement, okay? As soon as they figure out this form, just 1 second. They email it to us, and we, the Spanish coordinator, the French coordinator, the Chinese coordinator, the Italian, the Arabic, they review this and decide where we are going to place the student according with the placement form. And in CUNY-FIRST, we write down this information, okay? We do right away, the same day, and it's no delay to do that. Question? Yeah, this is true. Actually, we have a couple of cases. What we are doing is we check if the student really fill out the placement, okay? As soon as the instructor has in CUNY-FIRST the name of the students, I always send an email to them when I see them in the hallway in our office. Did you check your student's name? Did you check in CUNY-FIRST if they did the placement already? If no, write an email to the student. We copy to me and telling them that they had to write to fill out the placement. It's something that they had to do. If not, it's so simple. later on, we remove the student from the classes. Or we wrote to the student telling them, this class is not going to be validated as a foreign language requirement. It's going to be as an elective for you, if you decide to stay in the class. Yes,
So we have one.
sure, please.
Student transferring in level language. Well, let's say it's transferring in LS 11, Francophone, whatever, anyone 11. Who are pursuing liberal arts, criminal justice. Have a language, they still need to submit a language.
Yes, every student.
In modern language surveys include a question for transfer credits.
In the placement, we could do that. We had to ask somebody that helped us to produce this one to do it there.
And also the same thing with AP credit.
They,
I've seen that.
and for example, if the student did the AP in high school 4 years ago, probably they don't remember a lot of the material that we are covering. Then that's why we need the placement. And also with the clip, we need that too. That means no exception. Yeah. Another situation that we have in our department is the problem with the e-permits. Okay. What's happening right now sometimes for enrollment, it happens this semester for Arabic 112, the class was canceled with 9 students there, okay? And right away at the beginning of the semester, we need to find out an e-permit for the student, especially if the student need the class to graduate. It's a big issue for us, okay? Then in this case, we try to solve this situation with the help from the provost office, because it's big, especially for the student that need to graduate. But besides that, sometimes we find out that the students are granted e-permit for language that we don't teach here. Japanese, for example, you have 2 cases at the beginning of the semester. We don't teach Japanese here. Then in this case, this e-permit is not going to be accepted as a part of the language requirement at QCC. We accept it only for classes that we do teach here. Okay? Arabic, Chinese, Italian, Spanish, and French. We are not teaching German anymore. Simple reason, the enrollment. Okay, then we are not teaching German. We started teaching Hebrew probably 10 years ago. Okay, it's not good news for our department, but it's also the balance between we want to offer the classes, but the enrollment is too low. Then the provost office say, cancel those classes. We can't do nothing about that. I always fight for the classes, but I don't have the authority to say, let's run the classes. Even though I think it's fair to run a class with Arabic, 112 with 9 students, but the administrative say budget problem, crisis with the money, whatever reason, and they cancel the classes. Again, my will. If they are liberal arts students, the answer is no. It has to be the sequence. If they are criminal, but don't tell the student, please. If they are criminal, criminal students, criminal justice students, they can do it. But please, for us, it makes no sense that kind of things. And then don't tell the students. We don't want to lose the students, okay? But they in criminal justice, they can do it. Yes. It's liberal or criminal justice. We can do that. For a liberal arts, we cannot do that. Two things. My suggestion in this case is tell the student to register for the class, but at the same time, tell the student look in another CUNY institution as a plan B. If the provost say to us, you have to cancel the classes, we contact the student. Right away, our administrative assistant send an email to the student and write to the student, look for an e-permit if you need the class to be graduated. And we provide this kind of options for the students. Actually, we have a big competition in Queens College. They offer Arabic 112 fully online. And here they don't allow us to do it. Then it's a hard competition. They have 112 Arabic in CUNY, Queens, just right here. It's more convenient for the student. If they are coming from other places, they don't need to travel until here. Fully online. I try to offer that class fully online. They don't allow us to do that. And then we cannot compete with Queens College. Well, 214. Mhm. Yeah, well, two things happen. First, according with the union situation, we are not allowed to do independent study for an adjunct, for example. Then a lot of the classes, especially French, Arabic, some Chinese classes, the instructor are adjuncts. Then we have an issue with the union already like a couple of years ago. Second, sometimes we try to move those classes on independent and is not approved by the provost. That's the problem. We want to do it. For example, it happened to 223 this semester. We had 9 students in the class. And the provost said you have to cancel the class. Even though I say as soon as we start the classes, a lot of students are taking the placement late, and we could increase the amount of students in that particular class. They say cancel the class. And according with the union, we are not allowed to have more than 5 students for an independent class. Then it was the problem. The second situation is the full-timers, they are not motivated to run an independent class with 5 students because it's a regular class. That means when you have 5 students, 9 students, 12 students, you have to teach the same way, the same amount of time. But the credits is only 1 credit. And then this is the issue that we have in that particular case. My thing is, help us to promote the idea into the provost's office that if we have a class with 9 students and allow the class to run. For me, it makes no sense that we have to cancel those kind of classes. It's affecting the students and affecting also the budget here for the college. Because what happened with those students? They go to Queens College to take the class there, or Hunter, or any other places. The students are going to take classes out of the UCC. If they need to take another class here, they are not going to take it. They take a new permit and we lost those students. Any other question? Yes. We are in some way freezing 223. Yeah, we are not planning to offer 223. And then when we had this situation, we interviewed the students again, especially for 223 students. Because if they did 222, then if we cancel 223, we open the option for those students that we did already to take 300 level classes. We are doing that because it's not fair for the students. Okay, and then most of the time we prefer our great Spanish coordinator, Professor Sanchez and Professor Chavez. They call the student, they interview the student, and they ask the option. 2 options: e-permit or take 300 level classes. But also we need to see the student capable of study for that kind of level. But the option is there, yeah. Any other question? One thing that I want to mention is that we are offering 400 level classes. I don't know if you are aware of that. We are asking the Senate to approve those classes. Those classes are helping our department to increase the enrollment. Okay, and then those classes are part of pathways. The student can take it as an elective. Okay, and then this is 400 level classes. I hope for the next semester we are going to have Arabic and Chinese 400 level classes too. Okay, Arabic is something that we think is important to have here, and Chinese was approved already. We was into the pathway committee to be approved there because we want to offer those classes as a part of the pathway bucket. No, culture classes. Those are culture. 400 level are cultural classes. Yes. Yeah. Other thing that is coming for our department, it wasn't to the curriculum committee of the Senate. We are going to move 2 of the languages, elementary classes, Arabic 111, 112, French 111, 112. We are removing the 4 credits requirement to 3 credits and put those classes into pathways also. We send the proposal to the curriculum committee of the Senate. They review and they say we have to do some changes, but I hope before we end the semester, we had this approved done. This is something that is a suggestion from the provost, Arthur, Dr. Pulling too. We think is something that we need to start doing it because the enrollment in our department is in bad shape. For what are the Oh, no, they change it for 3 credits for the elementary classes. Those are language classes. Okay, I don't know exactly the answer for that particular question. What I can tell you is if the Senate approved the LA 112 and 111 as a 3 credit classes, they are going to be part of pathways. And I think this is going to be good because any student from business can take the classes as an elective, for example. Or the credit that they had to take it. Well, the requirement for the liberal arts students in the foreign languages credit is 6 to 8 credits. That means if they take 111 and 112 as a 3 credit, 3 and 3, 6, they fulfill the requirement. Huh? They don't have to take 8 credits. They can take 6 or 8 credits. Yeah, it happens with the advanced class. For example, a liberal arts student that speaks Spanish is taking 222 and 300. This is 6 credit total. And it is accepted as a foreign language requirement for liberal arts and also for criminal justice. Yeah, this is our goal to increase the numbers in our department. And also, when we cancel the classes, like Arabic 112, the student think that it's me that made that kind of decision. They came to complain to me. And then, yeah, it's not an easy thing. Any other question? Yes. Uh, we proposed that in the Senate meeting last semester to move it to C minor. As a surprise, somebody from the administration say that was not a good idea. I want to do it again next semester with a different kind of rationality. The problem was this, according with the provost that day during the Senate meeting, moving the C requirement to C minor could affect the student in the future if they decide to work as a teacher, for example, in another venue. I don't remember the other one. I was not aware of that. What we want to propose for Senate for the semester is to put in our syllabi a specific note that say, if you are planning to take in the future, see, the license to be a teacher in New York, you need a C grade for this class. But we want to move the requirement to same minor because students that are not planning to be teacher in the future, they don't need to have this C requirement to take the next level. This is my opinion, our department opinion in this specific matter. But it was rejected by the Senate. We lost for 2 votes. Yes. No, all the time when I receive the message from Benjamin, I approve it. Yeah. 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 Yes. Foreign language? No, we still have the labs, but we don't have a technician working there. We asked last semester to have at least a person there Monday to Tuesday, 4 hours in the morning. And they say they don't have money to do that. Okay. We're planning to ask again for that kind of service. We think it's important to have somebody in the language lab for the students, especially with the kind of student that we now have. They really need a lot of help. Okay. This is one thing. Another thing that we propose is to have the tutors in our language lab. We ask the tutoring service to think about that. That means instead of have the tutors in the library, to have the tutor that are tutor for our languages to have them in one of the language lab. We have 2 language labs. And it will be great for our students. But nothing has been decided about that. What we are doing with the lab is that we are doing some teaching in the lab. Okay, because our books now, they have an internet component, and then we try to do that. But we really need somebody in our labs. But they didn't approve that. Yeah, we had tutors. Yeah. Yeah, we have, for example, something that we have in almost our books is online component, and online they have a lot of sources for the student to do extra job. Yeah, we had that.
Any other questions?
Oh, one last thing that I want to say, the 400 level classes, also they are writing intensive classes. And every 300 level classes, they are writing intensive, okay? Our instructor, they did already the writing intensive, those classes are writing intensive, even though they are in French or Spanish, but those 300 level classes are riding intensive too. Yeah. That's- Okay, thank you. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you, Dr. Soria. All righty. Jason, can you hear us?
Yep, I'm here.
Can everyone hear Jason? Okay. All right, Jason, let me upload your presentation. Just give me a second.
I really just have a few things to discuss. You can all even just pull up the class list off the website, and I can go from there.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, and this is for movement science, right?
Correct.
Okay, good to go.
Okay, great.
Well,
Hi
let me see-
everybody.
Let me see if I can let you manage it. Hang on a second.
It's okay if you can't. If you just go down to the degree part. The degree, yeah, that's kind of what I was looking for. And for the program core for the major requirements. Hi everybody. My name is Dr. Jason Demas. I run the movement science program within the health phys ed and dance. I just wanted to kind of speak on the program a little bit. It's a fairly new major. What we did was we combined 3 concentrations from the physical education, the health physical education dance program. So we combined physical education, exercise science, and personal training. And I think the major itself is important because now it makes a lot of things cleaner. We had a lot of confusion before. Now we are partnered up with York College with their movement science program, and we have an articulation with them. I think it's also important, and this is some students are confused, especially the ones that want to major in physical education, that no schools offer the term physical education anymore because the state made it really difficult with requirements. So everybody now has their own creative name, either, Department of Exercise Science, Department of Kinesiology. I think Brooklyn College changed their name like 3 times in the last like 5 years. So we partnered with York, and that's why we are movement science. That with that partnership, for the classes that we are offering, our students really have not had. For the program core courses, we have not really had any complaints from our students. The only thing that I just wanted to note is that one of our courses is PE 841 Games and Sports for Children is only available during the spring semester. So that's kind of the only note that, we have to make sure that our students take that course because it is required. I think the one thing I did want to speak about was under the recommended courses. We've had a lot of students that struggle with anatomy and physiology, which is probably one of the harder courses within the major. It is not required, it is recommended, but it will be required at their next school. The bigger issue is that some schools have it broken down in different ways, like either it's one big class in one semester or it's broken down as AMP1, AMP2. which then makes it a little bit even more complicated with the transfer process. I had a student who graduated last year who's dealing with that issue right now. I believe at Lehman. So that's one of the issues. And the other issue that I had some confusion about with some of my students was that the 900 series athletic team courses do not satisfy the physical education requirement. They need to have either a PE elective from the 400 series or the 500 series courses. So the 900 series courses do not count for that. That's it. And then for any questions?
Yes, we have one. You hear that, Jason?
I cannot hear it. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, repeat it. Can you hear anything now? Can you hear something? Can you hear us now, Jason?
No, not really clear. I can just hear you. That's it.
You can just hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, why don't you come up? Hold on, we got a
Sorry about that.
serve question right here. She's coming right up. Sorry for technical difficulties.
Hi, Jason. Can you hear me?
Yep, perfectly.
Hi, it's Mandy from ASAP. I was saying that regarding the Bio 301 and 311, in CUNY First, there's a note on Bio 301 where students are not able to get credit for it if they've already taken 111 or the other way around. I forget which the order is.
Okay.
If they take 301 first, it won't give them credit for 111. So both of them are recommended, but I think enrollment wise, it doesn't allow them to receive credit for both if they do it in that order. And then
Okay, I'm following. I was unaware of that. I think it just because it's a recommended, then they would just be asked to take something else within that. But are you asking to change that as an appeal, or that's the only part I'm not following?
He just wants to make sure if we're advising them correctly. So as far as the sequence goes, so
Yeah, I let me get a confirmation on that because that's not in our department.
and we're gonna kind of get some questions, I think what we're gonna do after this, because there's other questions, we're gonna survey the staff for more questions and then send them out to the departments that presented today for anything that was missed. And then you guys can kind of follow up with any answers. But yeah, if you could check on that,
Yeah, definitely. I believe when it was done, it just means that they would just have to take something else from that list. But I can definitely look into that.
yeah. Yeah, it's a little confusing, but with other majors too, I mean, 111 is usually a good foundation course for students who are going into anatomy that might not have biology in high school or any transfer credits with that. So we try to recommend that sometimes. But yeah, I could see how it could be tied together. So definitely, yeah, if we could look into that, that'd be great, Jason.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions? I'll PE 841, which is game sports for children. Is that only
Yeah.
offered? Is that only offered in the spring?
Yes, correct. For now, anyway.
Right, in the recommended sequence, when you look at, it does say that it's offered in the fall, but it's only offered in the spring?
Oh, that was an error that was supposed to be changed. I put that in.
Okay.
I can change that. I can put it in again. I have to add something anyway. We're adding another recommended course,
Okay,
so I can make that adjustment. Thank you for correcting that.
any other follow-ups? Sure, sure. Yeah, so in the course sequence, if they could just, put in parentheses, spring only, because other majors do that too, and that helps us when
Mhm.
we're advising the students as far as putting their degree plan together. So that'd be great. Any
Yeah,
other,
I teach the class. I mean, so we didn't have any issues this semester. I always email all the students um the from the major as well, and so they're aware of that once they join the major.
okay.
I wish I would get more that would follow up.
No
I know
problem.
that's everybody's concern.
We can follow up with that again, but I'm sure you're on it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sure. Two oh two or 302? It's listed as an elective here. So if a student, so the question, Jason, is if a student takes the bio 301, are they required to take the bio 302, which is the second anatomy?
So the thing is, they're not required for either one here. It is a strong recommendation because it will be required at their next school. But again, a lot of the confusion, and this is like more of a question of how we can help prepare them, because every school now has their own way of offering anatomy and physiology. Um, I think Brooklyn, Queens, Lehman, and Hunter all offer it differently almost. And it's either called something differently or it's offered together, separate. So that's kind of our biggest issue. We kind of, I advise my students if they can, that they, to solidify. So, like, for example, I believe at Brooklyn College, they have it together as one big course. But if they only pass AMP1 with us, it only goes in as like an elective credit. So they need to pass both here to solidify the requirement at the 4-year school. But that's every school is kind of different. And I think that's where a lot of our students get confused. We don't want to make it a required course because it is such a difficult course. And I feel like that would really hinder some of our students from graduating or delay them significantly.
Okay, one more question, David? Right. Okay, great question. Jason, so here's the thing. With the movement science, when students transfer to the exercise science program in York, right?
Mm-hmm.
York does require them to take the 301 and 302. So,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Now, the thing is, though, with York, they have multiple programs. So the program that we are articulated with is the movement science program within York.
Okay. All right.
So,
So I think any students going into exercise science in York, we would probably have to say, I'd strongly recommend doing the 301 and 302. Because
yes.
when those two courses usually come in a pair, and
Mhm.
usually certain, like David's point was, is that when they're in a pair, then they're more likely to both be transferred versus if it's only just one course, it might not get transferred because it's not in the sequence. So I think that was so I think it's safe to say anyone transferring to York, we recommend a 302 as well.
Yes, and York is great. They've worked together with us, and they've come to visit. They've come to advise. So if our students do end up transferring to York, But they're not limited to York. And I think that's also very important. So even though like some of the other schools have a different name for their program, almost everything will seamlessly transfer into all the other physical education like schools.
Okay, great. So
Okay.
Jason, really appreciate your time. We're running super.
Yes.
So we're gonna,
No, thank you very much.
no, absolutely. And thanks for the quick adjustment. I know there was a misunderstanding there, but that's all good. So, thank you for your time, and any follow-up questions, we'll send it out to you. Okay.
Great. Thank you so much.
Have a good one. Okay. Professor Sullivan. Did you send me one? Yeah. Oh, that's why. Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, only four. Yeah. I had that. Just give me a second. We do. Well,
Good to see
it wasn't intended. It was kind of a.
Nice to see you as a whole person.
I know,
That's a little
right?
ahead.
Yeah, it's good to, this is what's great about the in-person is that we're not looking at checker boxes and we can actually see faces. So go ahead, Professor
I
Saul.
have a body. Person. I'll try to make it quick. I am a professor in the digital art program. I presented similar changes. We've had a lot of changes in the digital art program in the last 5 years. The first was hiring, well, 2 new hires, myself and also a colleague of mine who specializes in 3D printing and 3D animation. So it was our intention before the pandemic to really expand these options for our students. I mean, it's what people are watching, it's what people are consuming. Now, making is a little different, but it's a little bit of a bridge to cross. But definitely it's what people are interested in. So we wanted to offer that. So just going to run you through a couple of quick. These are our core design courses we have our students take. Not much has changed other than a couple of years ago, we had one change where we made video a requirement because some editing and acuity to time-based media was important. Everything else is roughly the same. 2D design and drawing. Drawing was not required. Yeah. Oh, I get that. I want to. How do I kill this? Good feedback. Thank you. We do that in our design all the time. All right, so 2D and drawing. Drawing was not required, but again, a lot of portfolio requirements for your colleges are requiring a kind of a burdensome amount of drawings, like some schools up to 10 drawings from life. So we thought instituting some drawing experience for our students was a good idea. Oh, look at that fancy slide. All right, so this is our new dun, da, da, da. So this is our new course. It's up and running. We've got 8 students in the class. It was actually capped at 7, but it's a really hot new course. There's a lot of interest. It's a lot though, so it's not for everybody, right? There's a lot of moving pieces. We're using an open source software called Blender, which has really kind of stepped up with the other paid softwares in the last few years. So obviously it's really great because it's accessible and it's open source, so it's going to keep getting better. So we're really proud to have that up and running. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to keep doing that until you start groaning. All right, so yeah, a couple of things we made last year, just to reiterate, now that I'm actually in person and standing here, is that digital animation. The prereq is Arts 291, which is our Photoshop course, or 190, which is our basic design 1 class. It's either or. Motion graphics, the prereq is 192, which is digital animation. So Jasper, the other colleague I was talking about, we decided to sequence our courses because we noticed that lots of people were bottlenecking both animation courses in the last semester. And that's a lot. It's like sometimes in the same day. So it's like 8 hours. These are 4-hour classes, right? So 8 hours in a lab with After Effects. I don't know if I could do that. And I do this for fun. So, and for a living. So I don't know if I could do that. So we've kind of try to create some space between those two experiences for our students. One, in that animation one is more what students might know as animation, right? It's character design. It's making bodies move, parts move, kind of the introduction of narrative and structure of narrative into their work. And then 293, and everyone was asking me what the heck is motion graphics? Well, it's basically design in motion. So it's like poster art, anything flat used to be graphic design. Now it's kind of flying on screens when you take the subway. That's what that kind of stuff is. And so we've decided to kind of shoehorn some of our more advanced techniques into that course. So the basic level is 182, and then we're trying to get students to create some space between that second course, which is 293. I won't do it. Recommended electives, we made digital photography not have a prereq of the introduction to photography, only because there's a pretty high price point for the cameras and the technology, the paper. So students weren't taking that second course, even though they wanted to take digital photography. So that removes a little bit of a barrier there. We still have a full class running of 141, which is our intro to photography, but we also have digital on the books as well too. So again, 392 3D animation is a elective. Here's our new lab. We've applied for and got a couple of grants. So we have a student success advocate, which sounds really kind of like an acronym in waiting, but we won't acronym it today. I'll spare you that. But they're on Wednesdays from 10 to 2. This is somebody who just graduated from our program, who's kind of not taking a gap year, but she's a very talented, engaged student who had like 6 works in our juried show, who's taken all of our classes and we all know really well. And she's there just to answer that kind of, moment for a student. So she's in that lab on Wednesdays and helping students out, helping sort of like to be a student face to that process of being a student in our program. There's also lab assistants. So we have 3 new lab assistants. They're also recent graduates. One's at Hunter, one's at Queens. And where's the other one? Again, but I think it's Queens and Hunter. And also really great students as well. Just graduated about 1 or 2 years ago. So we're trying to create like an interface between our recent graduates and our students that are going through now. And that lab is a nice place to do it. There's also 5 open computers, which always get used. And we kind of feared at the beginning that everyone would just stream Netflix on those computers, like, because there's not a lot of oversight, but students love their phones to do that with. I don't know, they like the smaller the screen, the better. So, I don't know, they don't use them for that. They're working in there. I walked in today, there's 5 computers all being used, so they're being used really well. So here's here's the 3D printers. So everything's really small now, which is kind of amazing. This is like kind of state-of-the-art printers that are like desktop size. So it's a small little lab, but it works for us. Last spring, we signed a digital art to design articulation agreement with Queens. It was not easy, but we did it. We crossed the barrier with them. Some of the things that we talked about were a B- for credit for required QCC courses. The biggest hurdle was that students from our program were coming in and taking all of their courses or all of their prereqs to get into the BFA stream there. Again, like in Photoshop, InDesign, all the sort of courses they take with us. And I got together with a colleague that I knew there, and I said, look, can we work this out so that we can they can skip some of that stuff if they're exceptional. So they still have to do the portfolio thing at Queens. They still have to, to get into the BFA program. Otherwise, they get kind of slated over to the BA side. But the BFA gives them a lot more advanced courses at Queens. So that's very good. And so all of the courses on our side that we're offering, that were required, transfer over, not as electives now. Because before it was just that general elective bucket and it was like, what does that do for you? So that's what we're happy with. Just want to highlight a couple of things. This is our big showcase. This year, I'm curating it, designing the catalog, the 116 artworks. We got 84 artists across the year. The opening is at the QCC Art Gallery on April 24th. I would love to have you there. You can share some food and celebrate our students' excellent work. It's oftentimes the first time our students have their work presented in this way, like in a professional context. So gallery opening, having framed, mounted professionally. So it's quite something. Families come out. It's a really great way for many advisors to send students over who might be interested in design and art. Oh, what do they do over there? Well, this is great. And we're also doing something with the VAPA Showcase. It's kind of TBD, but I think it's on April 30th at 1 p.m. They're going to do a walkthrough, and we're going to have some of the artists that are in the show this year kind of do a walkthrough talk with fellow students. So we're hoping to get some interest in our department. And I guess lastly, not least, we're in the C building. We didn't know that. We're by the bus depot. Where is that? Where's that building? It's like we're by the bus depot. But there's a lot going on over there. Yeah, question? Yeah. Yeah, I'm teaching it this semester. Yes. They can, when, I mean, in their career, probably in their second year. Because then they'll have some work to actually put towards it. But it depends what they want to do. But I would say like when they're close to being done. Most of the students I have now, I have 9 in right now, and so it's only a 1 credit class. So they basically build a portfolio but they have to have, what's that? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, no, we love to have them. Yeah, if they're really new to like the program, they won't have a lot of work to share yet. So because the portfolio is usually around 10 works. So if you get your 10 best works together, that's kind of like a good portfolio. So, yeah, third semester would be great. Yeah. Hey. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Well, they have more electives in art art than AS and art. So it might be. It depends if they have like what they're interested in. If they like working with computers. Like I have digital students who are like, oh, I don't like computers. I'm like, do you want to transfer over to the art side? I mean, it's one of those things. But if they're more interested in, say, in fashion design, but they love working with Photoshop. They love kind of like, I make my own characters, or I do my own drawings, and I like, do stuff in Procreate. Like that's the kind of profile of maybe a digital would be a better fit to get them onto that. I mean, at some point they're gonna have to deal with computer, but like, yeah. Yeah, I can't see that. It's maybe a little too specialized. But we have some students who are interested in interior design and they go there, and also fashion. Yeah, I've noticed that. I have a lot of digital students who like fashion and they want to start their own brands. And so like marketing, branding, that seems to be more of the digital side. So we cover some of that stuff. We do package design in 290. We do like, so there's a little bit more crossover, I'd say, in the digital side with what they might be doing at FIT, but I mean, learning how to draw and paint, it's not going to hurt you either. So it depends on who they are. So, yeah. All right. Yeah. Great. I think I have to teach in 7 minutes, so I'm gonna. Woo! Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to meet you.
Thank you. You too. Okay. That's it, guys.